Beyond the gleaming towers of downtown Manama and the bustling streets of Old Muharraq, a vast new development is gradually coming to life off the northern coast of Bahrain. A city is rising from the seabed, one of the most ambitious engineering projects ever undertaken in the Gulf region. A carefully planned environment that will provide homes, schools, shops and workplaces for 100,000 people. Almost 10 square kilometers of new land. An entirely new urban centre, the size of Lower Manhattan. And a unique vision, to rediscover a sense of community that was once fundamental to Bahraini life. To reconnect Bahraini residents with the water that surrounds them. And to embrace the social needs and financial realities of the 21st century.
I feel this is a gift that we are going to give to the people of Bahrain. It has to be the best gift. That's why we challenge things. That's why we need the best for the people of Bahrain.
But will Bahrainis accept this new city rising off their coast? Can the town fulfill its ambitious concept to become a model for Gulf communities? And can a reclamation project of this scale meet rigorous environmental standards? These are the challenges of Diyar Al Muharraq. The Diyar project draws some of its inspiration from planned communities in the US, Europe and Asia. A planned community is one in which every aspect of a new development, large or small, is carefully considered from the earliest stages. The most successful examples combine attractive architecture, efficient infrastructure, and well-planned public spaces, resulting in an enviable quality of life. Diyar itself is one of the most complex planned community projects ever conceived.
Unlike most of these other Middle East reclamation type projects, it was not a high-end hotel and resort project. It was their intention to create a complete community, so from social and affordable housing right through to high-end, with all of the facilities, mosques, hospitals, police stations, all the social as well as physical infrastructure that would be required to sustain a new town.
Almost a decade after the project started, and with 1,000 hectares of new land in prospect, Diyar's reclamation phase is nearing completion. At first glance, it's a blank canvas, but this vast landmass will soon start to fill up with the minutely planned elements of the new city. At macro level and in micro detail, there is a master plan that outlines how the new community of Diyar will be formed, from utility infrastructure to the types of houses and businesses that will be developed there.
As anybody will have seen who's been to the site, it's vast and very difficult to look at a drawing and really understand the scale of what's happening, and that was an issue for all of us to begin with.
Back in 2006, with Diyar already well underway, R.F. Hedrez was brought in as the new CEO. He knew the master plan was core to Diyar's success, and he knew that the existing plan was wrong.
I was looking at it. I was the youngest one in the room, and there is 12 consultants around me, and I was looking and thinking at the master plan. No, this is not what we wanted. Gordon, he just hit the table and he says, Arif, we've been working for 1 year and this is approved. And I says, well, thank you very much, but I'm the CEO now, and this is not the right one. Next time sit with me and I'll finish it, give it to you.
After RF's intervention, the master plan is remodeled to make a more accessible city, with extended public spaces around Diyar's almost 40 kilometers of coastline.
This is SAR, we call this SAR, we call this...
When we started the master plan, we were talking as a frustrated Bahraini citizen who lives in a community and he needs access to the water, parks for his kids to play. All these elements we feel that we lack right now. We're going to make sure that in Diyar Al Muharraq, as a Bahraini family or even expat family, they're going to enjoy these fine details that we are trying to implement in Diyar Al Muharraq.
To articulate the new vision, the team looks to California, USA, and the globally renowned master planner, Steve Kellenberg.
So there's really three fundamental things that converge in the philosophy of the DR master plan. One is global best practices. Arif, the leader of the team, has worked really hard to make sure that we have the freedom to express what we think elevates DR to a global showcase project. And the cultural traditions of Bahrain, the old traditional streets of Muharraq, we've tried to bring the value and access of the water deep into the community so everybody can participate in the celebration of the sea.
Residential estates are also...
We created 40 kilometers of beaches and waterfront, in which 20 kilometers open to the public. This has never been seen in Bahrain. The green trails, we've never seen it in Bahrain. The cyclist route, we've never seen it. The number of parks, a place where you work, live, and enjoy, we have not seen it in Bahrain.
This needs to be about housing, for the people of Bahrain. This needs to be about jobs for the people of Bahrain, and jobs in industry and commercial that really meets their needs.
While the Kingdom of Bahrain, with its prudent financial management, has avoided the worst of the global slowdown, Diyar's future relies on its ability to attract new businesses and investors. A recent success story is an agreement with Chinese partners that will bring 700 small businesses to Diyar, an important international validation for the project.
It's a real milestone for the Diyar Al Muharraq company. The signing today establishes an important relationship with our Chinese counterparts. The company we're signing with to establishing a China city, the Dragon City, is an important one. The city that we'll do in Bahrain is an exemplary city whereby they can prototype it and take it to the rest of the Arab world.
The process of reclaiming land for Diyar is a massively ambitious task that has continued unabated for almost 8 years. In 2005, there was only sea, but gradually, and as if by magic, the new peninsula is emerging, with the first homes built and the final islands beginning to take shape. Making such a huge expanse of new land has been an engineering feat on a mammoth scale. In the waters surrounding Diyar, the largest vessel of the dredging fleet has made the master plan a reality. The cutter suction dredge slices through the ocean bed with enormous teeth on a drill head larger than a man. The dredger pivots on a 75-ton spike, with the drill head sweeping through its so-called borrow area, sucking up tons of sand and rock as it goes. After each sweep, it gradually creeps forward.
Once the dredge gets in a corner, it pushes itself between half a meter to 1.5 meters forward. And then it starts swinging the other side and pushes itself again forward.
Borrow areas are carefully monitored and controlled, deliberately chosen for minimum environmental impact.
So you'll see on here there's depths right here.
Staying strictly within the designated borrow areas takes careful piloting and constant adjustments. The control and maintenance of the ship and its 7,000 horsepower engines is important, because each hour the drill head is out of the water costs thousands of dollars. As the ship moves, the pipe through which hundreds of tons of dredged material pass each day must also be moved. The sand and rocks settle and dry out on land that will one day be covered in schools, houses, and roads. Another marvel of the reclamation process is the hopper suction dredge. Like the cutter, it uses powerful suction to draw up its loads of watery sand and rock. Moving back to the edge of Diyar, the loads can be evacuated in two ways.
The hole is designed so that it splits open and allows the material to fall onto the seabed. The other method is the dredge pump that takes the material that's located in the hopper, transports it through the pumps and into a pipeline that's located onto the bow of the vessel.
At the northern end of the project, the sea becomes progressively deeper, making the reclamation process even more challenging. But with every passing day, Diyar's reclaimed land grows exponentially.
The total reclamation volume is about 75 million metres cubed of sand over a 6-year period. So we place about 30,000 metres cubed per day. To put that in perspective, if you imagine an international football field 2 metres high, we place about 4 of those per day.
The new land is vulnerable. Barriers are needed to lessen the constant wave motion of the sea. Most of Diyar is buttressed with large rocks, laid over a layer of thick, porous material known as geo or geotextile.
This is the stage where we are protecting reclaimed land. We place the geo after profiling the sand. So this is the most important stage to avoid any water to come in and erode the sand.
Around Diyar's coastline, the barrier of rocks is carefully placed for maximum effect. Up to 6 tons in weight, they are measured, stress-tested, and shipped to site from quarries in the south of Bahrain. In particularly exposed areas with powerful waves, the team has a decision to make. Strong sea defences are required, but would use up huge amounts of Bahrain's limited supply of natural stone. As a sustainable alternative, thousands of specially designed concrete blocks, known as acropods, are cast on site by a dedicated team. The acropods interlock to form a barrier against the power of the waves. In the past, developers have sometimes ignored the extraordinary natural beauty of Bahrain. Uncontrolled land reclamation has been blamed for a reduction in fish stocks. But from the very beginning, Diyar has insisted on a rigorous program of environmental awareness and monitoring. Dr. Lynn Barrett has been advising the project since 2005.
Certainly when we started in 2005, 2006, the only thing that is required by the regulator is monitoring of total suspended solids in the water column. It's not even broad-scale water quality, it is that one single parameter. With Diyar, we wanted to do something more rigorous than that. It was important for this project to show it was mindful of the potential environmental impacts that could occur from a development of this size.
This concern and awareness for the site's environmental impact is already bearing fruit.
The monitoring site that we've got out here, it's quite remarkable. The seaweed is a species of sargassum, which is very, very common in these waters. You're looking at plants that are a metre and a half high, growing just off this revetment. We didn't have those before. So that's changed, but it's a change for the better. So yeah, we're quite pleased with what these structures are beginning to attract.
Another environmental concern has been how to keep Diyar's waterways and the surrounding ocean healthy. Building a flushing system into the project has been a significant engineering challenge. But software modelling illustrates how the sea's natural currents will ensure a complete exchange of water every 3 days. Around the world, from Monaco to Hawaii, many beach developments rely on sand imported from other countries. But Diyar's beaches will only use locally sourced sand, again minimizing the development's environmental impact. For thousands of years, the rich history of Bahrain has been defined by its island geography. But in recent times, the kingdom's connection with the sea has been forgotten. One of Diyar's founding principles has been to revive that relationship, not least by providing a series of large open beaches around the new city.
From the Sugar Island. Okay, now what about this one? Where's this come from?
Beach building is a specialized skill, with intensive research into everything from wave frequency to the specific type of sand that will be used.
It's a bit
but
fine.
more fines.
Yeah.
So the percentage of fines is a bit high compared to...
All of these samples come from the Diyar dredging process.
What about this one?
The geologists have decided on a type of sand that won't be washed away, but will be fine enough to feel soft underfoot.
No.
The screened material.
But beyond sand, the most important factor is accessibility. New beaches, not just for Diyar residents, but open for all Bahrainis. The old town of Muharraq is the longest established community in all of Bahrain. Once the island's capital, Muharraq is a bustling town in the classical Arab tradition. For generations, extended families have lived here in close proximity. many Bahrainis regard it as the heart of the country. Its non-gated homes and walkable streets, a reminder of how most Bahrainis used to live 40 years ago. But Muharraq is crowded, and as in the rest of the kingdom, new housing is urgently needed. Providing affordable new homes and at the same time recreating old Muharraq's sense of community. Two key elements in the Diyar master plan.
A big thing that Arif and a lot of the team seemed to have a grip on right from the beginning was to understand how society worked in Bahrain, and that it's important to build a town where people, or a development where people will understand their environment.
طبعا اللي يميز المحرق هو أهلها، الناس اللي ساكنين فيها. طيبة المحرق وأهل المحرق يميزهم عن كل بقاع العالم. في أهل المحرق فيهم طيبة وفيهم تواصل، خاصة تواصلهم مع عاداتهم وتقاليدهم.
شلون فلان شلون ذي في النخوة أهل المحرق في النخوة تعلهم يشيلونك في كل شيء. يعني هاي اللي الميزة احنا فينا أهل المحرق إنه ما يقصرون بعضنا بعض نتساعد احنا.
الدواعيس اللي تشوفها داخل محرق متلاصقة، البيوت المتراكمة على بعضها بعض، هي ذي المحرق هلون أهلها مع بعض شلون متلاصقين شلون متلاحمين.
Just a few kilometers from Old Muharraq, a cluster of Diyar's new villas is dwarfed by its surroundings. These are early examples of the affordable housing that will distinguish the new city.
We've designed the villas in a way that it will accommodate for 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms. The bedroom sizes have been designed suitable for everybody's taste. The outside kitchen, inside kitchen. We believe that this is what the family are looking for.
طبعا بالنسبة للسايز مطابق العائلة البحرينية، والشيء العجيب اللي فيه هو الفينيشينج، يعني مستغلين كل زاوية، فرغم مساحة الأرض صغيرة لكن ما تحس إن البيت ضيق أو صغير عليك.
A lot of people who originally are from Muharraq are very much attached to the place, and they are looking forward for another place in Muharraq to come back.
The first project we started selling is the first 350 housing units that we presented to the public. We sold more than 90% of them, and we expect to sell the remaining portion in the coming few days.
Diyar is an ambitious enterprise and a necessary one. Its vision is of a new kind of town for the region. An ultra-modern community with its roots deep in the heart of Bahraini culture. An epic feat of engineering on the grandest scale that is still all about the fine detail. A new way for Bahrain's residents to relate to the sea that surrounds them. A vision that has taken its first concrete steps to becoming more than a master plan, to becoming a community.